Good morning, good morning.
Good morning guys, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Mayang buntag sa tanan. Good
You al-
morning, good evening.
you absolutely always have so much enthusiasm when you say pizzazz or something when I
Well,
want you to Filipino it up or something.
Philip, what? What do you mean, Phil?
You're about the most you just have no I can't even begin to tell you.
Well, it's different if we're talking about something
You
happy.
sound the same no matter what it is.
Not really, but okay.
Okay. Well I guess not. So
I
it's
mean,
something happy.
yeah, I mean, it's not exactly divorce. I mean,
Yes, divorce in the Philippines. That'll be today's topic. The Armstrong divorce intensifies. Okay, major accusations are flying. And in the end, we will talk about the divorce bill. We covered this subject a few months ago when it was a he said, she said. Now it's a he said, she said with her releasing a video, Coinky Dink, that less than 3 hours ago, it's probably only been 2.5 hours ago, she released a video, and the whole looks like a 2 hour video where she's crying the whole time. We have 5 minutes of the clip that we'll show you. We're going to react to. There's a lot going on. He released a video that was taken away, and it was still missing as of the time that we had already had the recording of it. We figured it would disappear for what was in it. Accusations about touching of her daughters. It sounded like it said with a plural, all kinds of things. This has gotten crazier and crazier. And what was your reaction to it? They still in love. That was kind of the way it sounds like she's heartbroken and she misses him.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, um, I think it's the keyboard.
Ah,
That's the thing. Like I said last time during the last live, or last time we mentioned them, is the feeling I get is that there's still feelings there. I mean, obviously there's feelings there. They haven't really stopped loving each other. I mean, I get it that some of you guys will say, "Well, he found somebody else." Well, he did, right? Where is she? I
he
mean,
was just banging that on out.
and everybody knows,
Rebounds.
the rebound girl or rebound guy is just that, a rebound girl and rebound guy, meaning they're just an emotional buffer until you get over it, and then after you get over it,
Yeah,
you move on.
I,
And
I hear you.
unfortunately, that's why you should never get into a relationship right after a breakup, because usually you end up with a rebound girl or guy, and they're just emotional buffers that you unintentionally using without knowing it.
That is true. That is true. And so much to be said. So I think we will, and I would probably suggest that we go into playing the videos up front. These are for people that rewatch,
Well,
especially.
I think we're supposed to go with that one first.
I would do that last. That's what I was saying. I would
Okay.
say go through the Armstrong stuff first because
So
there'll be a
start
lot
with this
of
one.
you that'll rewatch this. So we welcome the rewatchers. It was a popular subject. So we're going to go through and show you. Um, I would.
This one.
We're going to start with Armstrong's video that looks like it was just put back up again because it was down. Now it's back up. He even said in this community post that somebody got upset over it and had it removed, which we can understand why. He even showed a letter, but we'll show part of his and then her recent one, react to some. We can't play it all because it's 2 hours long. And we just found it. And the reason we put the live stream off by a half hour is we're trying to process so we can react and show you guys. But the 2 hours, I'm sorry, that's a long video. I'd be interested. Both the links to these videos are in the description for you guys to go check out their channel. This isn't a we like her more situation. This isn't we like him more situation. This is about divorce. And here's another thing that became a big
Huh.
Radamarrow. I
Interesting.
I guess Are we
Yeah,
still?
I know we know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
And
no.
yeah,
Well, it could be if they're actually filing for divorce. So, got caught up there for a minute. The Armstrongs married online during the pandemic. I don't have the numbers here in front of me. Sometime 2021. It's on their page. So they got married online. According to a video they released of the company that married them online, they did announce as a group, like we watched that video, they said that they can file the 13A for you and all of this stuff can be done, and that the Philippines was recognizing online marriages. Okay. Here's the thing. I've heard down the line 50-50. Some people said no, they never accepted those marriages, so we just remarried here in the Philippines. We've heard others say no, they did, and everything's fine. According to him on Rafi Tulfo, he took the time to mention that it wasn't legal in the Philippines, or they said there was all this back and forth, and Armstrong just announced again that no, they're only legally married in the US. And so that's what I thought. But here's the thing, if they would have registered their legal marriage, you have to register yourself. You have to go through the DFA and register your marriage. Then at that point, then it becomes where it's recognized by the Philippines. So there's a lot of things going on. And when it comes to a divorce, you can divorce in your country, whether it's Canada or the UK or America. I heard that even if you're married here, you're allowed to file the divorce in the United States. So as a foreigner, you can get that divorce. It's the Filipinas that cannot file here when they're married here to get a divorce. So that's my understanding. In other words, if he marries here and she does, let's say he just runs off and goes back to the US, her filing her divorce here, if they were married here couple, that doesn't happen. If he decides randomly to file back in the US, then that actually gets it. The foreigner can file back in his home country. It's the Filipinas that get stuck. And believe me, this actually happened. So a lot going on. So we understand that, separately there are two different things going on, but we're starting with the Armstrong because there's a lot going on. So he renamed the channel, and there is Donna Mae. There was his girlfriend Ruby, and his new channel is Beyond Armstrong. And until 3 hours ago, it just turned again because she's making new accusations, and she also in photos show that the police are actually been looking for him. So there's a lot going on, guys. So
okay. So for those of you who are new to the channel, just so a quick refresher. Now, the Armstrongs were a very popular couple at one point in time. They were actually on TV. They got interviewed, broadcasted, and everything else. They operated on their YouTube channel, the Armstrong Family. It was a great channel, I thought. I mean, it was wholesome. Everything was clean. They showed their family life. He bought a tricycle. And then, they lived in Ilocos Norte, and then they started doing. They built a home intentionally. They built the original house for themselves, and then they showed the home build, and everybody loved it. And they got like tons of subscribers and viewers and watchers, and then they decided to start building homes for other people, and I think that's where things start getting rocky. So n- after that, or rather during that, for those of you who are wondering what's going on, why there's some issues, and these are real life issues. We're not talking about emotional issues now. We're talking about physical issues. The real issues is one, the business. Two, the business has loans.
there's something going on.
Three, the business has contracts. So they lease heavy machinery. I'm not talking about little bobcats here. We're talking about full size, although they did get a bobcat too. But the point being is they did operate heavy machinery in their lot. They leased them and everything.
There's a
And
lot going on.
now keep in mind that for the most part, most of these transactions, some they can put on your name, but some has to be put on her name for obvious reasons. Because one, she's a citizen and she's established. because if you're not, establishment here is very important. Just so you know, guys. For example, getting a loan, you have to. They actually look that you've lived in an area at least 5 years. You know, again, it varies per company, per individual, per situation. But again, that's just a quick refresher on who they are. So they had rocky stuff. Then they broke up.
There was a lot going on. Like I said, we covered this a few months when he said that basically in his videos that he just released, he spilled all kinds of tea. Again, for those that there were, I just seen somebody said ask who is the Armstrong. The Armstrong family was a family, like he was saying, that built homes. They met online. This was a pandemic love story. They married. He came over afterwards, so they initially met online. He had, I think he said, 2 kids. He has prior kids, and she has 3. 2 of them, I believe, are over a certain age. One is with another expat, her littlest one. So for those that are confused on that, that is not his birth daughter, because I've seen so many of the comments where they were ripping at him, saying, "Well, you need to take care of your kid and do this and support." I get the still supporting. Like some guys will still continue to support their stepchildren. I understand. But it is not his child by birth, so he didn't owe anything, on her. It would have been the ex. As I'm to understand, he's back in her life. But after she said a bunch of stuff, a lot of her stuff carried over into Facebook. We can do that one real quick.
This one.
Yeah, this will just show you. The biggest thing is that she went on Rafi Tulfo to settle some stuff. So this just shows where she was on Rafi Tulfo, basically the Kabit thing. Here's something saying that, hey, you guys need therapy. Narcissism is being thrown pretty loosely on both sides. You're a narcissist. This is where they're making claims of, she's pointing out on her page that it's him making comments. So they both know when they give away certain words, they know it's too personal, where they're actually going and saying things about each other. And these are just some of the clips showing. She's just saying she's not a part of the Armstrong family. Now, the thing that became so, you know, popular, like when the video went popular and for their channel, is it just disappeared. They turned it off, actually. It went from little to no videos to all of a sudden she opened a channel and said, "Hey, here I am. Everything's okay." And I said, "Something's wrong." And then a couple weeks later, she announced that there was all this cheating accusations, and she was crying on a few of the videos. And then she has spent the last few months putting up videos that state, "My American husband this," and she's been really, in my opinion, she's been putting out content based on it. And we understand, we get it and understand. And then somebody said in our live stream, "Hey, Richard moved back to the US." And we knew he probably would be going back, but he did go back. And now he was spilling beans and a little bit of information. And then once again, here 3 hours ago, she's crying. I don't know if she's crying for the whole 2 hours, but that's the longest regular video without being a live stream. Then yes, we've had people say, "Your videos are way too long." It's like, well, it's a live stream. And now her video looks like a live stream, but it's not. It's definitely been edited. I feel for her. I feel for him. And there's definitely something going on in between. But both sides are some serious accusations. This just isn't where you'll see, like, I'm just going to be honest, just a toxic wife or something. And usually it is the emotional woman on the other side saying, "Hey," and that's just where it is. Most guys just move on, stay silent, stay strong about it, and they just pretty much ignore and drop. If there's something in the relationship, you usually don't even hear from them. Now, there are some women that'll do exactly the same to you as a guy, but this is just still going on. And both channels, his was turned off for a while, or it was theirs, but hers is substantially grown, and it looks to be where some of her income's coming from, besides selling the houses, and she's taken on the business. But now I can't even tell you what's on the second half. I'm on the second half of her video, so.
Right. So, but keep in mind, guys, again, remember, this is a War of the Roses type deal, meaning it's a he
Yeah.
says, she says deal. and also so you take everything what you hear with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Mhm.
know people exacerbate whatever they're gonna say if they're hurt. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make things worse, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah, we're going to start with his and then hers and then go through the comments. So,
really supported me on this last video. As you guys have noticed, I didn't delete any of the negative comments, any of the death threats that I received, any of the just absolutely blatant, disgusting comments. I did approve everything, and instead of keeping it in hell for review, I did approve all comments. So I wanted you guys to see both sides, see the negativity and the positivity and everything. So I want to thank you guys who really supported me. Now, after that last video, it was really mixed on the comments. A lot of you said, "Do not talk about it anymore. Let it go. Why is it even worth it? Why the hell are you even still talking about it?" And then a lot of people said, "Why are you talking lies about her? Why are you talking trash about her? She hasn't said one thing about you." So we're going to discuss in this video really quick before I get to the rest of it why I made that video and why I was going to make the other videos. Because yes, if you guys don't understand, she has made multiple videos about me. So it was my right to defend myself.
now he just said what again I was gonna say and emphasize that be aware that Armstrong actually did keep quiet for a long time, and Momimhay has been releasing video after video, talking about Armstrong.
she has. She has been going on, and I think that's what's upset with her video now is now she's really I don't think she expected him to say it. This is a hard one. We want you guys to comment by the time you see her video. For those that there are a lot of people that watch the Armstrongs, and it shows in our numbers that they're still watching, and people that are watching us have been known to watch them. It shows us all of this. So that's why we're covering it, plus the divorce bill, which we'll cover in the end. But this is one of those things that I'm baffled, like Eastman disappearing, all this Eastman stuff. It's kind of almost the same situation as there's something, but now it looks like the police are involved on her side, according to her photos. So, but yeah, let's see what else.
If you guys go back into her YouTube channel, she's
See you
made
later,
multiple
LG.
videos talking about me and her ex and how I'm crazy, how I've done so many wrong things to her. She's publicly said I've cheated on her. She even took us to Raffy Tufo. She took Ruby and I to Raffy Tufo. She's accused us of a lot. She's gone on to TikTok. She's posted stuff on Facebook insinuating it was me harassing her when indeed it wasn't. So I had the right to defend myself and to tell my side of the story for once. And I kind of thought it was absurd that a lot of you said I didn't have the right to do that when I actually do. You said to let it go, to just stop talking about it. You guys, I hadn't been talking about it. My last video that I had published was back in February of this last year. So all the way back in February, I had not even posted a single thing at all. I had absolutely left her alone. So when I moved from a local sir to Cebu, I had no contact with her. The last time I communicated with her was in April over the house and a few other things, or beginning of May or something. I think it was beginning of May last time, and then I completely blocked her on email, everything. I have not even talked to her. So really quick, before we get into this video, I'm gonna let you guys know. After the last video, I had a very long discussion with my attorney. We talked about quite a few things, upcoming videos, what to say, what not to say. So this video, I want to really talk about why I have the right to defend myself.
I just want to say that currently he only has two videos that are available. It shows where he left the Philippines. He kind of said a little bit about his travel and all that. Nobody likes the travel situation. And he has mentioned a lot about his attorney. There's been a lot of stuff that's been said, how much he keeps saying there's some things I can't say. But for me, I still feel legally he's saying a lot. There is a lot he's been saying. He did blur out photos and videos here in a few minutes, or what, I don't know how much of this was, I'm reviewing some of it along with George. he also had put out that Ruby, which is his girlfriend's life, has been destroyed. I'm still trying to figure that out. Now, some people are hypersensitive when it comes to maybe she called her a name. I don't know what it is that destroyed her life. There is a lot going on. And yes, we cover some of these things, but we're not going to go fully into the full. Okay, this is why, there's a lot going on, but yeah, there's something else going on. So,
Yeah. Now, just real quick, just so you know, some of you will understand, or I'm talking more to the guys here. The reason why I say that, because again, guys go mostly on a different mindset. Now, remember I told you he kept quiet, and we're talking about months.
no, he did.
Months.
Well, initially, I do want to say when we covered it, there was a video out. That's what I said. We only heard from her when we decided let's cover this Armstrong divorce. Oh, Armstrongs are getting divorced. Okay, he said he hadn't been in the same room and that there was all this stuff. And I think for those that know him, kind of know at the point that it's at. But he did come out saying that he filed for divorce, and he said that it was going to be completed in a few days. Was his last words. But he did go silent after that.
Yeah.
He did release 1 or 2 videos, but went silent.
Right. No. Again, now he's making a video, and now he's talking about his representation, a lawyer. Now, this is probably the real reason why he broke the silence. Now, a lot of you may or may not agree with me on this one, because I really don't like this one, and most of you will agree with me you don't like this one. It's called affirmation by negation. Affirmation by negation is, okay, everybody uses this, and I hate it. I hate it. And most of you do hate it too. Because some of you, okay, you ever heard somebody say something to you like, you didn't say anything, so it's okay. So I did it. That's affirmation by negation. Meaning you didn't say anything, so therefore you agree with it. Affirmation. Another example of affirmation by negation is, for example, somebody's trashing you and you keep quiet.
Therefore, it must be true.
Must be true. You're agreeing with it. Same
That's
thing.
True.
Right.
Ooh, good
it
point.
it goes a long way. That's why I hate affirmation by negation, because it's not real. Because
Ooh,
again,
good one.
affirmation by negation. Again, I can go on. I can go all day. Affirmation by negation. I mean,
yeah, just because
somebody kept quiet and don't want to fight doesn't mean it's true. Now, he has representation, and then the lawyer probably, again, he's telling it right now. He's saying you need to say something. That's why he broke the silence. Because again, if I were him, I would do exact same thing. I would just zip it, let her do her thing. It's not true, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But just letting you know, for those guys, again, because most of the time it's the guy personality that does this quietness thing when it comes to bad relationships. They, just ghost the girl, and then that's it. So, anyway.
When you guys say that I don't have the right, actually I did. So when you guys said that I had no right to make a video, just shut up, she hasn't said anything about me. I think a lot of you failed to realize that she took Ruby and I to Rafi Tufo last July. There were some accusations made against me in public last July. I had not had anything to do with her. I left her alone, did not deserve it whatsoever. We're going to discuss why she took me to Rafi Tufo. So, and then we're going to also talk about Ruby in this video, the marriage, and quite a few other things. So let's start with me. What have I done to destroy the marriage? Yes, I did make inappropriate comments back in 2022. It would have been February, April, or May of 2022 on TikTok. I made, I believe it was 3 inappropriate comments on TikTok. I will admit that. I believe it was 2022, 2021. I want to say it was 2022. After we got done building our first house and was completely finished with it. At that time, our marriage was already on the rocks. I was kind of reaching out for attention. I was begging for attention. I felt like I was being neglected at home in the marriage. She claims in her videos because I put her in that situation. But at the time, we had no construction going on, but she said the stress of having a loan and owing money to the developer. She just didn't let her feel feminine enough. She didn't want to be dealing with me, and she says I wasn't paying attention to her emotions enough to want to be in the same room or sleep in the same room as me. So yeah, one night, it was actually I think 2 nights in a row, I got on the TikTok, and I'm sure she's going to share those. And one of the comments I made was, "Damn, I would pay to see that." And the other two, I can't remember what the other two were. I tried to recover the account. I put a request with TikTok. I had to recover that account, so I can share those screenshots with you, what I said on the comments. So I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to share that stuff with you. So yes, I did do that. And then she considered that cheating back then. I guess, if you want to consider that emotional cheating, then so be it. But I never physically cheated. She considers everything. She says I cheated on her because she says I emotionally cheated on her. But to my defense,
I get George on that all the time. Emotionally cheated. You son of a... Paper, rock, scissors again. Ready? Let's see if you're lying. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You lose and you lie.
So, okay.
No, that's true. I want to let you know. But mine was real because when you have a Japanese woman call in the middle of the night, it wasn't just that. It wasn't emotional cheating. The woman said, "Hey, will you take this kid?" And I'm like, what is really going on? No, I get it because I get a lot of women will say it's emotional cheating, and I could see it in the beginning. Now I don't care if George hits the strip club and bar fine somebody. I'm just, I trust him that much that he'll just bar fine her to have her come home and do laundry or wash his car or something. But, there's so many different levels what women would consider, cheating. They're like George had a lot of female friends, and he would even go dancing. And I felt the fact that he didn't mention, this is when we very first met. He went, was a ballroom dancing and different types of dance, and you would go dancing, or she was contacting you. To me, I felt like that was. No, she was contacting him all the time, but it was about, the dancing, but he was going dancing all the time. And didn't you go out to the bars too?
Yes, of course.
Well, see, to me, at that time,
dancing is dancing. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't mean you're involved with somebody. Dancing is dancing. I dance with strangers.
Well, that's fine. I'm okay with it now, but it's something that I'm, maybe it's something she's not used to. I don't know, but I get the emotional. But to say that he said, "Dang, I'll hit that," and then that was a matter of, then it meant things were pretty serious. But what I did hear recently was her statement. She said that she didn't feel feminine because they were in debt. And he said that, and it's not in this clip, she said that we had to get the loan paid off, and she didn't want to hold the debt, that she just didn't feel. And I'm like, that had nothing to do. I get being stressed maybe, and because like now she shows like videos where she's working out, and there's nothing wrong with bettering yourself. You should always try to. And then it showed her before and after. It showed her eating rice or something. And I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with eating. That doesn't make you, if you were shoving 9 cheeseburgers in your face, that'd be one thing, showing you're depressed. But it was almost put to the point where she was showing that in that other life with him, she was just letting herself go. And she did mention that. And I get that when people get in divorces. That's what happened to me. I just let myself go. Okay, I like those donuts in the morning, but who's counting? But no, I get it. So be interesting when we get to her.
And I'm not excusing my behavior. You guys are calling me a piece of shit. You can unsubscribe, but until you guys know the full story, when you're in a relationship, you expect the other partner to also like his car. And when you're going to neglect, you're going through issues, you want attention, and I guess I'll want attention. And
Sorry,
I've gone
guys.
through multiple times.
You recorded
her about it, and she says I don't pay attention to her emotions, feelings. So what it is, what it is. So I don't want to talk a whole lot about it. Then, when my son visited, we're going to talk about where she says I had depression and mental health issues. When my son visited, yes, I told my son I was having issues with depression. So I'm going to come clean about that. Yes, I was suffering from severe depression. After the house was completed, I just kind of sat around in a room the entire time. I had no motive, nothing to do. And any of you foreigners that are living in the Philippines and you're experiencing a new culture and you're retired or you don't have anything to do, your thoughts, you start to overthink, you become depressed. And any of you that are living in the Philippines, you know what I'm talking
about. Okay, that is a real thing. I've discussed that with you before. Everybody's here trying to make it like everything's a party, everything's good, nothing wrong with the place. Heidi, stop complaining. You've done nothing but complain. And there's, that's you shouldn't have came. I've heard just about everything, and so has a bunch of other expats. I do want to let you know that's a real thing, and I'm glad he said that. It's a real thing that adjusting to the culture, a lot of people say just do it. There are people that have been here for years that all of a sudden have setbacks. There's a lot to process here, and I don't care if you're the most upright, never had any depression in your life. It could break you down to that. Something may trigger you, such as all the homeless animals and half skinny, half dead looking animals on the street, the trash. There's a lot going on to process. The broken down buildings, the infrastructure, the slow internet, the long waits in line, or not being able to find things, or being so, far out in the province that it's hard. Hard to get things. All these things can cause a form of depression, and there's a lot of expats that don't go out all the time. I know for a fact that a lot of these guys just stay around the house. They don't, because they don't want to have to communicate. They send their woman out. They know when they go out, they're getting skin taxed or they're overcharged, or they're worried about communicating with people and they don't want to deal with things. So if they're staying more at home, which some of them do, then that will also cause it to set in. So according to him, when things went south with their marriage, he wasn't allowed to see his friends. He wasn't allowed to speak to nobody. He wasn't allowed to go anywhere. That she was the most controlling woman in the world, is according to him. Don't know anybody like that. George just doesn't leave me alone.
Also, you have to take into consideration their location. Not necessarily Locos Norte. I'm being specific here because they didn't live in the metropolis area. So they actually live in the more provincial area or rural areas, as it were. So that means there's really nothing much out there. Even when they lived in the apartment complex, they're still somewhat on the fringe. So it's really, I mean, when they live in an apartment complex, at least they live somewhat in, like, what seems to be more modernized. But when they started building their home, literally, when they flew up the drone up, there's nothing around. So it made things worse. And what I mean by made things worse, remember, when you fly from the U.S., well,
Good morning,
or
Victoria.
wherever you're from the West, unless you live in a farm, that's where he went. He went to basically a farm-like area where there's really nothing there. And that's where their first house built. And the other house builds, they're, what's that, under development, which means there's nothing there
two
either.
Or three, I thought. I know of two, at least. Quick shout out to Sarah. Sarah's in the house. Ted is in the house. Our members. I think I just seen Victoria's in there. Chosen one, real quick. LG said it's not his type of cup of tea. But further up, he mentioned, was it about, weirdly, I guess he was interested possibly. Oh, he was just asking, was we rehashing the
No. He's
the other
talking about,
family?
yeah, I'm not gonna mention their name because,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But hello.
talking about. You can become lazy and complacent, and you start to become very depressed.
I like being lazy
Now,
and complacent.
I contributed some of that
What
to
I
COVID,
live for.
but I'll be honest, a lot of that was due to the relationship. The factors of the relationship, what was going on. The depression was due to the relationship. She was a very, very controlling person. I was being controlled. I was being isolated. If she didn't like something my friends had to say or a message they had to say, for example, I had a friend, his by the name of Doug. He would send me some of the most disgusting, inappropriate shit ever. And that's what men do. We send disgusting, inappropriate text messages to each other. She didn't like that. She told me to block him. There was another gentleman by the name of Juan. I won't mention his last name. She didn't like what he had to say to me. he didn't like her,
Let
and
us
she didn't
know
like the
if our
conversations we
audio
were
is
having.
okay.
How he told me to stand up to her, how he bashed her, allowing me to wear the clothes that I wear out in public, and she blocked him off my account and forced me to stop talking to him. So pretty much anything that went against her, that she felt she didn't like, I was forced to isolate people out of my life. It was a sign of control and manipulation. Now, she accuses me of being a narcissist on everything. I'm going to explain to you guys what a narcissist does. When you are blaming everyone for everything all the time, you're not taking accountability for anything at all. In the past, it's always someone else's fault. They never took accountability. So that's one of the definitions of a narcissist. In a relationship, if you're
Out a
love
case
bombing at the
here. I
beginning,
mean,
you're building
after I
someone
seen
up, and
this, I was
later on,
like,
you're bringing that person
maybe she's
down.
not been
You're building
telling
them
the
up.
truth.
And
then she
down,
comes
that's a
back with
narcissist.
tears today. I'm
So
like, my
calling me a
sister's got
narcissist, I'm
something
far
to
from
say.
a narcissistic behavior or personality. You guys are going to be hearing, seeing a letter from my first wife, who I was married to for 13 years. I did reach out to her last night. She's known me.
A letter of reference from my previous wife. I would like yours. I always say get straight to the point. I was just going to size up your exes, wasn't I? That's a true story, wasn't it? George says, that's the last person I would trust.
I wouldn't trust them, but I know I'm in good standing with my exes. But anyway.
Yes.
Now, what's also important to note, again, remember, this is a he says, she says thing.
He said,
I'm not necessarily defending Momimhay here. I'm just saying a generalization. And what I mean by that is, by default, Filipinas are possessive and jealous.
That is true.
Okay. And again, I'm just giving you a typical Filipino, not necessarily Momimhay, because I don't know her personally. By default, Filipinas are possessive and, again, extremely jealous.
I think that's why there are so many picos. Oh, wait a minute, wrong one.
Picot is a shotgun wedding.
Well, that could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Kabit.
The guy.
Kabit is side chick or side guy. Kabit.
What about a pico kabit?
That usually doesn't happen. No.
It could actually happen, but maybe it's. I mean, I know that I'm always seeing in the newspapers where we said it was a crime of passion. So I'm going to reel back in our boy of the week, Eastman. I'm telling you. Anyways, Eastman will be a whole different story here in about a week.
Don't bring him.
I'm not going to try to bring Eastman into this right
about.
now, right? Don't get the people going. But it's crimes of passion. I believe that's what's going on with Eastman. The very first live stream we did about the boy missing was Beangsy mentioned his own kidnapping several times. Then, and I'm going somewhere with this, that something was up, that this looks like it was staged. And then a bunch just recently, which we mentioned 2 days ago, that they knew who the people were and they were going to release them back out there to actually kind of reel them back in, except for in the last 12 hours, they said they're going to reel them back in. But they're saying it's possibly somebody neighborhood-wise, that he didn't go very far. There's been guesstimates that it's her ex, and so therefore it could possibly be a crime of passion. And there's still groups saying that, hey, he might have actually it could be all of them involved. Who knows? But that'll all come out later. It'd be really surprising if he is still alive. It'd be a very nice thing, but it would just be a really strange thing on the same hand. So it's kind of, but crime of passion is what we could be looking at. So a lot of Filipinos, male or female, tend to love hard and, take no hostages situation when they're just going to slap them upside the head or something. Things go south and quick. But yes, jealousy would be one thing.
Right. So again, the reason why I brought that up again is because one, he claims, keyword claims, that he was kind of, boxed in, kind of controlled. For the most part, a lot of Filipinos and Filipinas do this. It is a very typical behavior. I'm not saying all of them are, but most of them are.
20 years. She's a mother of my son, who's 20 years old. He's in the U.S. military. He's a fine young man. I have raised him more than decent. She is going to be writing me a letter of character to let you guys know who I really am. There have been accusations being made against me here lately. The attorney has now gotten a hold of these accusations that were sent to someone, to actually multiple people. And these accusations are disgusting. The last post of what I had done to Ella and her stepsis. So these accusations are very, very serious at this moment, and they can be prosecuted and with a case being filed. Very serious, very, very serious shit. So if you guys are wondering why
I had to cut that out just for our, you know, for multiple reasons. But the accusations are the same as I call him Scuba Steve or Scuba Chef. He is saying that she said that there was pedo action going on in the house. And so that is a very serious accusation. So many people, when she started, whatever that girl's name was, it's been a while, when she started making the accusations against the Americans, that's what they said she was doing was a hey, it was her last. We said it sounded like she was still in love with him. She just wanted him back and she wanted that life and everything. And that was the last thing that he threw out. And that's what he is saying is being said. So it was clipped out. So those, yeah.
I'm so pissed off. This won't stop. I have left her alone. I have not messaged her. I've not made a single video about her. I have lived my life and I have left her 100% alone. Since last February, I have not done a damn thing to her. My last communication was in May. I've not made it. Now we're going to talk about my marriage really quick. We're going to touch on that. My marriage, it was an online marriage based out of the United States of America, not the Philippines. I was not legally married in the Philippines, you guys. I was not married under Philippines law. And as a matter of fact, because of the online marriage, the Philippines ended up saying the marriages are no longer valid. So if you guys are wondering, like during a TUFO, the attorney had their attorney on TUFO actually had it incorrect. He was indeed incorrect on that. We aren't married in the Philippines. So, and here's the Bureau of Immigration letter stating that my marriage was no longer void, or no longer valid, and it was indeed void. So, if you guys were wondering why, what some of the stuff was, I'm not.
Okay. So I was trying to get him to click on it. Okay. Um, it would be if they would have went to the like if you're in the United States like me and him, you have to actually go to the embassy. We discussed that. We got married right at the height of the pandemic when literally there was only so many offices open. But as far as the embassy itself, they had closed all of them but New York. At some point midway through the pandemic, we went to New York because we had to, because his passport needed renewed. We didn't want to go with one with only like 3 months left. So we had to take that trip. That's the empty streets of New York that we have a couple years back in our footage. But that same embassy, we could not, we were not married at that time. So that's why. I was trying to figure why we didn't take the time to register when we went. We were not married. But I know that here you can still register with the DFA, okay? But every Filipino is responsible for registering their marriage with them if it's from the outside. So it's not that it's not valid. So if that's what he's saying, Rafi said, and he's saying it's not, I believe that's what I'm understanding. He's saying that it's not valid in the Philippines. It is and it isn't at the same time. It was their responsibility to go in and notify and fill out the papers for it to make it valid. Okay. If you're doing the 13A, that will not be enough as we thought it would be. You still have to have that certificate that he had from online. Or like ours, it has to still have the stamping of the U.S. It has to be, what is the name of it? It just went over my head. What we had to have.
Pasta.
The apostille. Sorry, over my head on that one. So there's different stages and different things, but not valid probably wouldn't be one of them. Like I said, there's some people that said they wouldn't accept it. Remember, some offices here have a different response than say in Cebu, and they'll just flat out, like we went in I think this was the fourth time we filed the 13A this past July, and they kept saying, no, you don't have the right document. And so then finally we got everything they had the document apostilled, and I think it was like $400, $400. And it got pushed through. So just certain things had to be arranged. It's not that it wasn't legal. They still would have been recognized because he came in during the pandemic, which means he showed that to the airlines and showed it to immigration in order to get his initial stay. So he had to. It had to be recognized. So, give me some sugar.
Not married in the Philippines. Married under U.S. law. That was it. And the divorce will be finalized very soon. If I can get a damn address, the divorce would have already been done, but she moved around so much. Divorce would be already done. But I'm going to end up sending it to her attorney, and we're going to resolve it that way. Since I don't have a current address, it's going to be sent to her attorney, and a public notice is going to be filed where I am of divorce.
Yeah, that'd have been the original way, was to actually send it to, if she's had an attorney the whole time, why didn't he do it the first time? If they've been dealing through the attorneys, did we miss any of that? Didn't he say he hasn't been able to? Did he just want to say that he couldn't find her? Did he just want to complain that she's been moving around?
Well, obviously she has been.
Well, obviously she has. She's put it in video. I mean, she's not giving out her address, but I don't know why the attorney there just didn't send it to the old attorney. Maybe the attorney moved. That does happen a lot. The offices shut down shop all the time. Okay, and let's put on hers and get to, I'm telling you, this again, probably as of now, about 3 hours ago. And it's a 2-hour video, but we took like 5 minutes of it so you guys get an idea. And it is translated.
Nakita ko yung video niya. Alam ko na nag-upload na siya, pero hindi ko pinanood kasi ayoko maapektuhan. Tapos may mga pupunta na nagbablash sa akin sa mga ganito.
Now, I just want to, from the beginning, she goes, I just watched the video. Does that seem plausible to you that she's saying she now just watched the video?
Well,
it's been released 8 days ago, and he showed comments where she thought it was her commenting. It's possible.
It's possible.
Okay. Yeah, she said, I just watched the video, but maybe she recorded this and just decided to release it. Maybe she recorded this 8 days ago or something, 7, 8 days
Could
ago.
be.
Okay, yeah.
Ako daw yung may mga kasalanan, masama daw akong babae kasi about sa mga last relationship ko. Sobrang naka-question. Ito yung masakit sa loob ko kasi kanina pa ako iyak dun sa kusina na nilinis ako. Tapos sabi ni Ella, Mama, ba't ka umiiyak? Kasi nakita ko yung video niya. Tapos nag-act siya na parang wala siyang ginawang masama sa akin. Parang lahat yung kasalanan ko. yung mga sinasabi ko dito sa video, stating the fact, hindi ako naging bitter, actually. Sasabihin ko na lahat dito.
Welcome back, LG.
Pwede ba ito na lang? Pagod na ako mag-explain. Sana ikaw, Richard, paramdaman mo kung anong ginawa mo sa akin. Hindi ko kasi maintindihan lahat ng ginawa mo sa akin. Hindi ka man lang nagsisisi. Sana naging humble ka pa. Hindi tayo nauwi sa ganito. Sana naging accountable ka. Hindi yung ako pa.
She just mentioned fair and accountable. What are the feelings you get from this so far? When she keeps going through this,
Okay.
what you did to me.
So remember, this is a he says, she says thing. I'm just telling you what, on her side, what she's referring
Baby,
to.
come back.
Now, according to her,
You can put the blame on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without.
yeah. Now, keep in mind again, they have contracts, whether with the clients or with the equipment. They have contracts.
Hey, Tony.
And remember that since Armstrong left, in all probability, some of these contracts are under her name, which she can't again afford, literally. So again, I'm just telling you what her side is, and again, there's that old saying, she got left with the bag, holding the bag. Is that right?
I don't know, but here in a little bit, it's going to show that the police are looking for him. These are her words here shortly. And there's something going on. There is definitely something going on. Because did she call them there because somebody came to her house looking for the money? Is there missing equipment as we've been reading? They said there was a bunch of missing equipment. A lot going on. I would be, curious. I'm gonna see what I can.
Sinisisi mo. Sana, yung mga friends namin dito nagagalit na sa akin bakit hindi ako lumalaban. Hinahayaan lang kita. Hindi ko maintindihan bakit na yung audacity lahat ng mga sinasabi ko. Masakit yung loob ko. Masakit yung loob ko kasi uma-acting ka na para kung walang ginawa. Tapos kung ano-ano pa yung ginagawa mo sa akin. Nagagamit mo yung pangalan ko. Yung nasana pa lang makita ko na may pagsisisi ka. Hindi yung ako po yung kinakalat mo ng cheat dito. Sana lahat ng mga sakripisyo ko na-appreciate mo din naman. Sana kahit paano naging lalaki ka.
I will agree with that. LG says the Philippine is crying fake tears. He said sorry. He just got flashbacks from the drama with Benays. And
Well, LG says that, yes. And also,
I mean, because this isn't her first video where she's done this, where she's had a full crying bout. It's, I get it because I cried on air for those that have seen me. One, somebody was screaming something after they were yelling at their own person, and it was a flashback for my own abuse. And then I forgot what the other, some people that I knew had passed away. And there's been like some reasons, and I get it. But I just looked at her other work, and it says here, my marriage for 5 years didn't work out because I was toxic. And she went through, and we talked about it, but we didn't show any of the footage. And when I watched it, basically she was going on about, how they were so loving with each other in the beginning. She was blind to his addictions, and she really went through it there and ripped him apart. Like, she was putting out, we can't say whether allegedly, possibly they were truths. She said he had addiction before he came. She said a lot of things. She put a lot of different things out. And this has been going on. How I live as a single mother in the province. I'm buying cheap property. She just showed herself a month ago where she was going to be buying property. And why she was, when she went on the Rafi Tulfo show, she, things such as that. But her current one is stating, I regret getting married right away. Well, that's not been what she's been, what she's actually been saying or doing. My American husband and I are now separated. Did I cheat? So she's been doing life after separation 6 months ago. And so, I don't know, there's a lot going on, a lot to process.
Yeah, Victoria also says tears. I didn't really see any when I zoomed in. Now, again,
They said that on her previous video. Oh,
maybe she's dehydrated.
could be. That's what they said about mine. I'm like, man, okay. So I get it too, because they said the same about mine. But yes, I'm not, the more she's moving her face, I don't see it either. So
Hindi mo na nga ako naprotektahan. Nasaktan mo na ako. Binigay ko naman lahat. Hindi niya kasi alam kung ano yung sakit. Pero ako namatayan ng asawa. So, naghiwalay kami.
Now, on the cheating part, remember, both parties accuse each other of doing so.
mhm.
So, to be fair, again, if any of them did, we really can't tell you because we don't know, we weren't there, but both of them are accusing each other of.
And I just want to let you know, in the Rafi Tulfo, he said that she asked for a threesome. That wasn't the opposite. She didn't say that he asked. He said she did.
Now, on the Rafi
There's a
Tufo, those who watch the Rafi
And
Tufo one,
and someone said she smiled like a Cheshire cat at some point. She's like, but they said it was kind of scary how she kept smiling over and over again. But yeah, that show was a trip.
yeah,
too.
now the Rafi Tufo one, what's
We still got
interesting
that.
and odd about it is, I'm not quite sure if Ruby, the alleged girlfriend during that time, was supposed to be there, I'm not sure if she was quote unquote summoned to be participating. She probably was, and even if she was, technically she could refuse. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it just doesn't look good. Again, I'm not against Richard, and I'm not against Momimhay or anything like that. Again, but it just doesn't look good when you guys just broke up and then all of a sudden you have a girlfriend, or you guys just broke up and suddenly you have a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And then they're on national TV. You know, and then yeah, and that is on TV, just so you know.
Yeah.
That was on TV.
No, all of it was.
Yeah, that was on cable TV here. Here in Philippines, cable is alive and well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, it just didn't look good for Richard. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm just saying it.
It was one of those things. Just when her video came out, she said that, Donna, I know you remember me. I have been with you both since the very beginning. And it's goes on to say, I remember clearly the coming of his son to the Philippines when he came out with his mental instability. I remember. I was in that moment. It was in that moment I knew that your marriage was over, and I don't blame you one bit, because as a woman and a mother, I don't want to baby or take care of a grown man. I remember you working like an animal to grow the new family, but don't feel that bad, Donna. The videos are in the web forever, so forever we can look back and see him laying around, always in bed on his phone, and he arrived average and left so fat. I'm sorry you went through this, and especially sorry for Ella. Don't be hard on yourself. We all make mistakes in life. I personally wish you well. She has a lot of comments in here. The one who cheats is not going to admit they did wrong. Do you know why? They get very defensive. They will make you feel like all of it is your fault. So a lot of narcissism being thrown around.
Actually, that's a good point. The cheater is the one usually accusing the other one cheating. By default, usually the cheater is the one that will accuse the one who isn't cheating. And the most common one that they use, now that Heidi read that comment, again, I'm not taking sides here, but it's kind of funny. I said funny because this is nothing based, it's not really based on their situation. This is based on reality. Reality is, when a cheater cheats, they usually accuse the non-cheater a cheater. And guess what they usually use? That they're cheating emotionally.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the most common terminology that they use. You're emotionally cheating on me. Again, this is not based on them. This is just a common thing that cheaters do. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, I think you. How many minutes did I have you record? 5 or 6?
Well, it's about 2 minutes left.
Well, I mean, how long?
About 2 minutes left. Well, 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, because there's an interesting development.
Sobrang ko napatayan.
There it is.
Hindi niyo alam yung pain. Yung mga stress na ginawa niya sa akin. Nagtataka ako ngayon. Bakit, Richard? Bakit ganyan ka sa akin? Hindi ka na lang maging accountable sa ginawa mo sa akin. Sinaktan mo ko. Sinaktan mo ko. Yung puso ko, reputation ko dito. Hindi ko maintindihan. Bakit nagagawa mo pang umakting na parang ang bait-bait mo? Parang okay lang sa'yo yung lahat. Bakit? Naiyak ako kanina pa kasi lahat ng mga dinanas ko. Parang normal lang ba sa'yo yun? Grabe ka. Grabe ka. Ito, sasabihin ko na sa inyo lahat yung ginawa niyan. Ang bait-bait ka ba sa kanya? Hindi pa kita dinimanda? Kasi alam ko, makukulong ka dito. Ayoko makulong ka pa dito. Inantay pa kitang umalis, sa totoo lang. makapagtrabaho. Hindi ka makakapagtrabaho, wala kang pera. Alam ko yung sitwasyon mo nakakarating sa atin. Lahat ng pera sa bahay, ng part mo, nakuha mo na. Tapos sasabihin mo pa, ako pa yung maraming utang. Ako nagbabayad ng mga utang mo. Inisip pa nga kita eh.
According to this, they're looking for Richard while I'm the one paying your debts here and you're running away. I do want to let you know that, again, we had only mostly heard from her. He did make a few appearances, but those videos went down pretty quick. We have some of them. We're just not going to rehash that. I mean, I know we're putting the latest up, but there was, as I'm seeing further on in her 2-hour video she released, she had mentioned something about him borrowing money from the people they were building houses from in advance. I don't know if he repaid them, if that came out of the house, if she was the one left holding, you know, the debt. There was something about equipment, and she had a lot of stuff to clean up. There's a lot going on. And you would just think that if she was the guilty one, she would have went totally silent, or just being silent doesn't mean you're guilty, but at least you're just not putting anything out there. They're both claiming the same thing at the same time. They both feel they should be telling. So then it's really, for me at this point, a hard press on. I mean,
Well, that's another thing. Again, in all fairness to both sides, okay, it doesn't mean that you're quiet, you're guilty.
that
It
is-
doesn't mean that you're loud, you're innocent either. That could also mean you're guilty. Because remember, if you take 10 people in a room and one of them is a thief and they get locked, they shut the doors and the cops are there, the thief is going to say, he did it. He's the first one to say something. He did it. He did it. Because they want to, you know, take the heat off of them and transfer it to the person that they know that will be kind of suitable or more of a target.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that somebody's loud. It doesn't mean they're innocent. It doesn't mean somebody's loud. Doesn't mean they're guilty, and vice versa. It doesn't mean they're
Mhm.
quiet. Doesn't mean they're guilty. And if it doesn't mean they're quiet, they're innocent. Remember that, okay? That's why I hate when people say, "Oh, he didn't say anything. It must be true." No.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Further
avoid trouble.
down, she says you kept begging money from the owners of the house, even though we had a contract to ask for money, she said. So that's a lot.
Utang mo. Inisip pa nga kita eh. Yung mga sinasabi ko totoo kasi nababash ako. Nakabasama akong babae.
He did say he had more receipts to show that
Inantay
she's
kitang
got
umalis.
legal action
Inantay
against her
kitang
here, and
umalis,
that could be what
Richard.
she's talking about.
Sabi ko, buti nasa magbasa ka na lang kasi nag-i-house ka ng pera dito. Di ba? Ilang beses mo.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, there it is.
Sabi mo sa sabi ko, kasi ako nga yung provider mo, di ba? Hindi ka na rin nagbablog. Hindi ka rin ako makakapag-vlog dito kasi hindi ka na, baka tourist ka na rin dito, lalo ka.
Now, the thing is, most of this stuff is actually everything she said for the most part. She has said before. The only new thing that, to me anyway, new to me that she said was she called him a tourist. Before, she never called him that. She just never mentioned it because we've always wondered about that. But they were married too as well, so it's one of those, you know, well, they're married, you know, it's okay, you know, probably have a 13A, you know, that kind of deal. But now she's saying he's a tourist.
Yeah, so there's been a lot going. I was just looking at this because it looks like a bruise, but that's just an oversized freckle. Sorry, I was like this. It looks like a bruise.
Right. Now the cops again, in all fairness to both sides again, you have to remember what one person says may not be it is what it is, what they say it is. What I'm saying is the cops could be there for a lot of reasons. Could they be there for his Bureau of Immigration issues? We don't know. He could be there for
He
set.
keeps telling me to move on. I've been moving on, but it pisses me off when he's acting like he doesn't do anything wrong, and the truth keeps coming out, and he keeps putting my name, and then it shows here call from subscriber. So in between, she keeps saying her subscribers are calling her. That's twice I've seen that. But I don't know. Okay, so she said she took a call from her subscriber. It's not a live stream. So she calmed down. Looks to be in about the seventh moment she actually had. So there it is
No,
again where she
that's an
said,
edited video. That's never a live stream.
"Yeah, it's not a."
That's an edited video, heavily edited, by the way. It's hard to notice, but she's really good at editing. She's
Well,
really good
but
at
here
craft.
she is, less than a minute later, crying. Now she's laughing. So she's totally laughing. Maybe she had stopped the camera.
Well, she did.
You need to reach out for help. You're depressed. You will be using it for the reason to cheat, an excuse to keep cheating, she says, and treating other people horrible just because you have depression. And the next level of controlling in your gaslighting, she says. Don't keep using it to excuse yourself anymore or to anyone. No one deserves to be treated cruelly just because you have depression. So she is going on and on. I met Richard already when I had 3 kids, 2 different fathers, but my other kids are not with me. Only one of them is. Well, yeah, she's the younger one. But she's going on now about her relationships and everything. But it's usually, like in the comments, you do see most everything in her seems to be pro her. We said that before, which we get that. And then he claimed he didn't touch any of his, but a lot.
Well, like I said, there's several reasons that why the cops might be there. Again, it could be for the loans and everything, and it also could be again because of the accusation of touching inappropriately.
He did say that she said she filed that stuff.
Correct. I mean, if you call them, they'll come.
And there's something else going on with when his son came. So after his son came, or during that, there was supposedly a lot of toxic things going on that was added. So what's that?
Oh, I probably can't pinpoint it because I could have sworn there was one person civilian clothes, but
that was his son in the military clothes. That was the other one.
Yeah.
That's why he only trained but never. Yeah, so we'll go through some of the comments, start going through those and talking to people.
AMB, hello, Philippine squad.
Hey.
Pablo Chicano in the house. Hola.
And then afterwards, after we go through the comments, we'll throw up talking about the divorce bill, because that's the biggest thing here is there's a lot of divorce things. I was going to throw in, there's another channel called the Garcia family. And I don't know what the inside and out is of that channel, but I know they have a kid together. And I believe they're in the Mindanao area. And what's with your baby makeup? That's my cup. Here, you take the Fonzie, and you take more.
There's baby May and ta-da!
Ta-da! Yeah, that's supposed to be my cup.
Fonzie and Mork.
Yeah, this was supposed to be for you to use.
Nanu.
Yeah, George was like, he had no idea that Mork had anything to do with
the Fawns.
The Fawns or Happy Days. And I said, yeah, they linked those together. They even had Laverne and Shirley at some point on the show. So just an era that we came from. Although I was young. So when those shows were all out. So
Ta-da.
Promotion. Huh? Yeah.
Chosen One says, "Oh snap! Alive! I did not get a warning. Dang, I was supposed to go out. Suppose one beer couldn't hurt."
Yeah, we were supposed to go earlier at 9, but we've been putting the clips together, and hers just came out when we decided. We knew we were going to cover the Armstrongs. We told you guys, and cover the divorce bill situation. Speaking of which, we might as well put it up now in the beginning before we go through the further questions right here. It's this one right. Yeah. So the divorce bill is still on. It's at, I believe, the third reading. Is the divorce bill coming to the Philippines? Only two countries in the world still ban divorce, and that's the Vatican and the Philippines. But the tide seems to be shifting in the Southeast Asian nation. So divorce is illegal for most residents in the Philippines, despite the law that gave the nation of Muslims, the minority, the right to legally end their marriage. So, in other words, Islamically, they are able to do it, and just as quick as they can be married. It's something that they can do in that region. The Christian majority, however, remains deeply affected by the Catholic Church and the rules is that espoused by the Vatican, the only other country in the world to still ban divorce. Um, so you can go ahead. Basically, it's the same thing. There's legal separation. And so divorce abroad now valid in the Philippines. Advocates of the bill have largely focused on how it could offer women a legal escape from abuse relationships. And I must mention that includes men too. I know I keep saying that, and we know that men can go through it too, so we have to mention that. Some campaigners argue that the momentum for legalizing divorce gained traction last month when the Philippine Supreme Court ruled that the country must recognize foreign divorce decrees. The ruling applied to cases where Filipino is married to a foreigner and the divorce obtained abroad. Here's the thing, since I've been in the country, as I'm to understand, all you had to do was take that document and file it. Maybe they don't have to file it anymore, because we were wondering why they mentioned this, because that's always been, if a foreigner abroad divorced, I thought it was automatic, but according to this, it's now valid in the Philippines. Maybe they're no longer having them file. Maybe they just need those divorce papers to prove anything to go get married again. Maybe they don't have to take the time, and because you would have to go down, file, probably pay some fees, and wait a few months for it to go through. So maybe they changed something. But it shows here that something actually did happen. So we knew that came up a few months ago. Now, I do want to let you guys know, and I was trying to explain this to George when I filed our divorce, that they won't be doing nothing with it, so he can just bite me on that one. But anyways, the fate of the divorce bill still remains, and like George's divorce, that still remains uncertain. And for all you lovers of us and haters, there you go. Ours is still pending too. Especially with midterm elections approaching in May, when all 317 seats, which I plan to get one of them, in the House of Representatives, half of the 24 seats in the Senate will be contested. Okay. If the Senate does not pass the bill by May, them suckers are going to have to start all over again. So I don't think it's going to do it. And the reason I don't think it is it's at the third reading. It still has to go through whatever those other stages, and then the president has to sign it. They're going to drag their feet with it being election year. They do not want to be caught up in that. This country's a trip to begin with. I don't know what vice president can actually threaten to dig up somebody's dad and throw him into the ocean and legally get away with it. But it's going on here. A lot's going on here in the Philippines. But if they don't get it going, then they're going to have to start all over again. So it's just, I don't think there's any. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, where'd that come in? I guess that was some of the. I guess I added that on the end. That's just showing where he claims he did file in Utah. And I blanked out her name. He left her name initially in there. So you can just, that was meant to be on the front side of the other video, which, there it is. So the divorce bill, I don't think is going to be pushed through anytime soon. If they start all over again, we could still be talking about a few years. Just like the immigration law here that they want to revamp. They've been talking about revamping. There's been more fear mongering on those guys that are sitting on a renewal of every 3 years are going to get booted out, and they're just not going to do it. There have been some questioning. They will try to direct you towards an SRRV, or if you're married, to file. That's something I'm glad that I went through and I finally did. That way I don't have to run to immigration every 5 minutes. You sleep there, babe?
Yeah, sure. I think it's your keyboard.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, now
Which one's the keyboard? Just unplug it. Can you guys hear
I
that?
don't want to unplug something. Anyway, now in all probability, as Heidi says, I agree with her on this one. They're probably dragging their feet because it's an election year or time election. Now, in all probability, the divorce bill will probably get approved or disapproved on the last term of a certain president. I'm not saying any particular president. What I'm saying is if the president kind of just lets it fly by and then let it kind of just they didn't do anything. And what I'm saying is if it's election year, remember this is a conservative country. And if they sign yes on it, they may lose, the votes. You know what I'm saying? If they actually say no, they may lose votes too. So it's one of those, danged if they do and danged if they don't kind of deal. But so it's better to let it just let's leave it alone for now. Let it just sit there. Let's put a pin on it, as they say. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said it'll probably happen during the last term in the last year of that particular president. I'm not talking about any particular president. What I'm saying is it will probably get approved or disproved on the last term of
Do
any.
you think that's why they're holding off all the extra immigration stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, they were supposed to do something on the nomad visa, and it's like a year overdue right now. And also the same with they're supposed to kind of go through and release everything on the new immigration, but it must be something pretty whatever they would have possibly put that through. I get the revamping, but they've been talking about that for 2 years.
All right.
So there's something actually going on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, heck, even the Duterte didn't do anything about it. Just saying. Kate Dallas, hello. Big Colonel, or maybe 2 beers. He's on to chosen one. Simon says, "Good morning, people." Oops, excuse me.
That's what I did earlier. It must have been the coffee.
Yeah, it could be. Simon says, "I'm going to be listening, start packing to move to a new Airbnb for now."
Oh, yeah. Be safe.
David answered, "Mr. Anderson." Boo-hoo to both of them, for both of them. Simon says, "I'm sure they still care about each other." Yes, they do. But it's still over. Too many hurts going back and forth. No, well, irreparable emotional damage. No, really. It's can they get back together? Yes, but it'll probably end up in a breakup. What I'm saying is, if by chance they did, too much stuff. There's too much damage there. Yes. Thaddeus says, "I'm staying out of this one. Been through the ringer myself."
It does show further down, somebody said, but he posted screenshots of his video. He posted proof it was her. If you're talking about that hot dog deal, because he said she uses the word hot dog when it comes to lovemaking or whatever, I mean, it does and doesn't. It could be, you guys do realize there's some serious trolls out there that mock and mimic people down to their wordings. That's how good some of them are. So that could have been somebody creating a fake account that could have came in and did that and used the word hot dog. I mean, you guys can understand people watch for stuff like that. So, but I mean, I do understand that he has, and he does have a lot of, receipts. So there's a lot going on. I haven't seen, I don't know. There's a lot going on. I don't think there's any real receipts out there legally because they legally can't. If you show actual court documents with their name and the specific information legally, although others have done it, okay, you can still get in trouble. And being they're watching each other, they're not going to put something out like that to have their channel taken down. And those that don't have the stuff taken down, nobody cares enough to actually go through and do it. So it's I've seen about 8 channels that will post legal documents against each other, and it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chosen One says, "Is Donna looking for a new boyfriend? This is all I need to know." Well, rumor has it. Keyword rumor. Rumor has it she has one. Rumor has it. Unverified, allegedly.
Well, I was gonna say unverified. They said that she dates men or women, so that's also just through the rumor. Yeah, I mean, we can. I don't mind answering on the update of Eastman.
You already
We
answered
mentioned,
it.
yeah, we said it early
You already
on
said
that
it.
technically there's not. In the last 12 hours, they released that they're sending their. To me, what I took from it, away from it, they're sending the guy that is involved out there to try to say, "Hey, will you go ahead and let him go?" That's what I'm getting, and it's really odd because I think the oddest part of it all, and it was our very first live stream, we said that if he comes back alive and just is plopped on the beach, there's something really odd about that. So we'll see. It's I'd be really, really excited that he's alive and lesson learned, whatever it is, whether it was jealousy, whether he set it up for views, which dude, it wasn't worth it. Your channel, I think, sits at 5,000. It just wasn't worth if he really took a shot in the leg and went through all that just for a stunt, because a few of his videos before this all happened, he kept talking about how desperate he was for his views and for money. He did go on about it was his income. And so that would be really a, hey, I'll split it with you if this situation happens. But I think it'll be somewhere in between. Him being alive will just be a miracle, and I pray for his family that he does return safely and that they come and get George.
Secondly says 2 hours of crying. Oh crap! Not sure I want to watch that one. Sarah Tyson. Hello, Heidi and George. Hello, roommates.
Oh, that's the.
Secondly says don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, guys. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe,
yes.
and share.
Subscribe.
Grandpa, shout out from Brampton, Ohio.
Brampton,
Ontario. Sorry,
Canada,
Ontario,
in
Canada.
the house.
Chosen One. They got married online. I didn't know that. That explains everything.
Yeah, it was. When we seen them up and coming, we were locked down during the pandemic. He arrived. It looks like they lived in a family house. And then all of a sudden, I want to say within, it just seemed like months, right? Within 3 to 6 months, they all of a sudden were building houses, and their channel went up to 100,000, and they were really super popular. I mean, it was really an interesting show. We said we kind of liked them when they were just their family and stuff. When they started building, we watched X amount of episodes, and then when it was constant building, that's when I lost interest. Like I lost interest in George. But maybe if he was building something with a tool belt on and only a tool belt, like his mistletoe belt that he wore last week, then I'd be interested. Because I was sucking on those berries. Would you like me to suck on your tool belt?
Right. Now that's another thing. The cops could be there because of his vlogging.
I don't know. They said in recent, they said that they did say that they've been going through his account. I don't know, guys. There's this is like it's like I don't know.
What I'm saying is
I'm still gonna eat that balut and the durian. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It'll all be interesting to say the least. And there are easily just in the Philippine genre that are living here, probably over 100, 200 people covering that. Everything that comes out, it's hey, it wasn't his body. Yes, it was his body. Everybody's covering about the same thing right now. So, and
Michael
it'll
Johnson.
be interesting to see the coverage.
Howdy, folks. David Anderson says not in Canada, no online marriages. There you go.
Yeah, I think it might be only the U.S. that really set those up. But I thought I've seen some that said worldwide, but it might just be the U.S.
Clifford Smallwood in the house. Hey, Clifford, how you doing? David says you can get a divorce in Canada if she's here for 1 year. I'm going through it now.
Yes, every country may have its own rules. The U.S. is, they just go back like he's doing it, and it's like filing when you can't find the spouse. It depends on your country how the rules are set up. In the U.S., you're allowed to say, hey, I put a newspaper article in, and it's if you don't have an address, they give other options in the U.S.
Lou says an empty barrel makes the most noise.
She did weirdly in the front of her vlog. She did, what was her saying? What did I tell you? She said, what if the one that you're willing to die for is the one holding the gun? Is what she did put that in the beginning of her, which makes sense. That would just, I mean, it makes not sense for their relationship. It's kind of just saying that, but to me, that is somebody that's going through a bad breakup that feels.
It's what if the one you're willing to take a bullet for
Is the one holding the gun? So, which means you're extremely in love. So, either way. So, what's your answer? Who's holding it? Are you willing to?
What do you mean? No, that means the one that you trust the most is the one that's going to betray you. That's what it means.
I know what it means. I'm just talking about in general, the statement.
What about it? I mean, I already said it. That's what.
Are you willing to?
That doesn't make sense. Why
Well,
would
don't
I
worry
want
about
to be?
who's
Why would I
holding the-
want to be betrayed? Nobody wants to be betrayed.
I'm not saying that. I said forget about that statement. I said it twice. I said, what about the first part of it? Are you willing to? For me.
Oh, would be willing to take a bullet for you?
Yes.
That's why I married you. You're my shield. I'd be like,
True story.
is it over yet?
That is true. That's what he said, and that I can cook and fix those mistletoe berries.
Heidi redefines meat shield.
Meat shield.
Yeah, it's a gamer term.
I know that's you.
But anyway, of course I am.
Please,
course
you're not
I
even
am.
willing to get out of bed. It's like,
I'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Deal with it, lady.
you kind of said that when I fell outside. You was
Not
at the mall. That was
really.
horrible.
I've gone outside here and see if there's something that needed to be done outside with some suspicious people. No, I have. Heidi will tell
I
you.
know.
that.
I'm
And
joking. He is.
I've always been the one that if somebody breaks the
We're
neighbor's
joking.
house, I'm one of the first ones to run over. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's in the U.S. Here, other than what's going on in the parking lot outside, that's all we know what's going on. But anyway,
Pretty much just
because in the
cats
U.S.
across the
everybody
street.
has alarms, so if the alarm goes off, then I go off.
Yeah.
But here, most people don't have alarms.
Yeah.
20-minute movie says advice to all males: why get married?
That's true.
What's
That's
in
what
it
they
for
say.
you? There is no upside for a male in marriage. Yeah, correct. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk already?
The second one further down said, no, balut. I know, I tried to get out of it. I told him that I'm probably going to get the one that's like barbecued and grilled. They do something special where they put it back in the
Oh yeah, look for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll put him on the I've got the durian situation covered, so that we got. So
well, it's not a very common fruit here anyway.
Well, it is. I mean, we can get it at the market, but as far as who will actually carry it and stuff.
Noel Cortez says basically Filipinas marrying an AFAM just to raise them from poverty life, and Armstrong saw it to Momimhay, so that's why Armstrong divorced her ASAP. Oh, I see what you mean. He got the vibe kind of deal. Chosen One says some people are determined to marry no matter what. The only person I would marry is Alex Guo, but since that ain't happening.
Right. That is true.
My man, Chosen One. Chosen One and Alice, that'll work. Sperling Edwards, checking in from the Pata. Hey, Cindy G, how you doing, Cindy? Victor C, George and Heidi, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Victor.
Hey.
Chosen One says, ain't no fury like a woman scammed. Shake my head there.
Yeah.
Oh, scorned. Yeah, scorned. Yeah. Sperling says, I agree. Mr. Glock says, I'm with Richard. She seems cray-cray. JJ says, I don't like both of them. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Black Grandma says same thing. Hell knows no fury than a woman scorned. Victor liked. Thank you so much for that like. Cindy G says, nice to see you guys and honest thoughts. 20 minutes says person never seen or heard of. Again, some people do, a lot of people do, and a lot of people haven't. Again. Black Grandpa says, well, she's broke. And she did say this in the video, just so you guys know. And needs money. Why else would she air her dirty laundry? And he's untouchable in the U.S.
Bespoke New Beliefs, if you're still in the house, which was about a half hour ago, your message got held because of a few things that you said, but I don't mind translating like what you said in legal terms. She talks a lot over the last 8 months. He does 2 videos to defend with proof, and she's blowing a head gasket. I'm sure that she's blowing the Danish guy. So we'll just leave out the other part.
Oh, right.
So
allegedly.
I've seen that guy. He's an older guy. He seems to be older than
Allegedly.
Richard.
Yeah.
And not that it matters. On a scale 1 to 10, I would take Richard at this point. But I can't. I'm talking about like looks wise.
You mean if you tried to choose between the two?
Looks and I don't know the other guy though, but just based on looks.
Bye.
Bye, LaQuisha. Not Felicia, it's LaQuisha here. No, it's the other guy looks different. I'm not saying who she chose. You can't go by looks. Some things feel good, they may not look good.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, you feel good, babe. You feel nice and soft, like silicone. Let me see.
Why do you think I visited Grandma Stevens a lot?
Okay, so anyways, so I get it, but I don't think that's what's going on there. It is funny how since the breakup, I guess she said the dad's back in her life, and that was after the fact. She did a video saying, hey, he's back in my life, he's bringing me money. And that was like 2 videos after the entire announcement, so it's
well,
which is another.
Yeah, well, it's I don't want to go.
Yeah, we're
too
kind of going off.
Chosen
the
one says this is real beef. Rafi Tufo is serious stuff. Honestly, the Rafi Tufo, I think, was necessary in my opinion.
It's actually in there. But here, go in here and let me see if I can find that real quick.
Well, you used to usually clean it.
No, well, I get it, but we can always scroll. Go to the download. You have to go further down. It's like way.
That's it. Is that it? Oh, it does say it.
Yeah. So pull it up, and if you go like halfway through,
this looks like corn.
What is it?
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Attorney si Ma'am Donna May Armstrong at nilareklamo niya yung kanyang mister na isang American na si Mr. Richard Armstrong.
Go ahead. Might as well. There may be people that haven't seen it.
Oh, I was going to translate it.
Yeah, for those that have not seen the Rafi Tufo, and a lot of you guys are new, we'll give you some of it. And then
It's a good refresher too. She says this Donna Mae Armstrong, and she's here to complain about her husband.
At yung bago daw pong girlfriend na si Ruby Abarial dahil nga po sa pagpapakalat ng mga hubad niyang.
I want to let you know, she said, I'm going to tell you what she said.
Oh,
She said that we'll be bringing Mr. Armstrong here in a little bit and brought his kabit. He said he brought his kabit, Ruby Armstrong.
Okay.
But he did refer to her as a kabit later.
All right.
But
well, no, he did.
And I want to let you know what she said is that he brought his kabit.
So that's why Ruby was there.
No,
that's again. It's a good refresher too. Why Ruby was there. Ruby's there because, according to, Donna Mae, according to her, Ruby spread naked photos of her That's why Ruby was there. Now I remember. Now, yeah, as a
So
refresher.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Ruby was there because
Because
she was
this has been
accused of spreading.
this is a
naked
big
photos.
catalyst, one of the catalysts since the divorce that's brought him up to say more, because he was like, yeah, she took me to Rafi Tulfo, and it is a big deal when you drag it to Rafi Tulfo. He
And
said
again,
he
yeah,
also feels that Rafi Tulfo should have did more investigation, and he basically said shame on him. I think he actually said shame on Rafi for doing the show.
and remember too. Well, rather, I'm telling you guys again. You may not be aware that this show is actually on national TV, not just the internet. This is actually on national TV, and just like any episode, you know how sometimes they just replay the same thing. Yes, Rafi Tulfo does replays. I've seen replays of Rafi on cable TV.
And I want to let you know that yes, Exelixim, he says in her video, she said she turned down 90 Day Fiance to protect her children. But then she does this. Doesn't this hurt her children? Yeah, she said that, and so did he. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of their first videos, he clearly states that he's going to be on, that they wanted to be on the 90 Day Fiance thing. I remember or that they were going to be, and
yeah,
I did hear that.
Yeah, sadly,
And yes, it would. This kind of does
sadly,
too.
yeah, they're on TV. This is forever. Even on Philippine TV, they play this.
The internet's forever, and I'm counting on it.
Even the ones without internet, again, this is on national TV.
Larawan sa social media.
Okay, no? So, based dyan pala sa sinabi mo, Shari, this is a case of anti-photo and video voyeurism.
Opo.
Okay.
That's the law. It's like it's anti-photo and video voyeurism. Yeah.
Right, which supposedly was turned in by the little bit more.
Di bali po,
Pakilakasan lang ha.
Sige po.
Ikaw na.
di bali po, naghiwalay na po kami. Okay, na hiniwan ko siya kasi cheater siya.
So I left him because, well, you guys heard it. She's, according to her, he's a cheater.
So, napagod na ako.
Hiwalay lang in fact, no? Hindi
Yes.
Because I got sick and tired of it. So you guys got separated. That's what he said.
Wala namang legal proceedings na naghiwalay talaga.
Yes po. Kasal
Okay.
po ko sa US, na-register dito sa Philippines. Ngayon po, kasal pa rin kami dito sa Philippines.
We got fresh donuts
So-
from local.
She said, we got married in the U.S. That's what she said. But we're still married here in the Philippines.
On process po yung aming divorce. What?
Our divorce is on process.
Yeah, so she said we were legally married in the Philippines.
That's what she said. Again, not my words, her words.
Right.
I'm just
So
translating
there's
her.
been a lot of confusion even from his channel where he said that they're not. Here's the thing. They would only I'm confused too. All I know is that it was considered a Utah marriage because it was online. A lot of the places are and was rejecting online marriages. The Philippines did not accept them. But they somehow are still married in the US. So the answer is yes. So did they get rejected filing at the DFA or the embassy? So she said
Right.
she said it
Yeah.
is not legal, right? That's what she said?
No, she says it is. That's what
Okay.
she said.
Only if they filed it. Only it had to be legal enough, and I guess that's where I fall into. It
Yeah.
had to be legal enough to get him into the country because he entered.
Well, yeah. And she says it's ongoing divorce, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing. I just thought about that. They didn't enter together. He entered by himself, so he did not use it.
No, he could come in on a tourist visa.
Right. That's just it. So I take back what I said because I forgot he came in by
Because
himself.
she did say tourist.
Okay, so yes.
That just confirmed our
Yeah,
suspicions.
he didn't come in with her. So yes, in order to get the 1-year billing buy-in that I was talking about
Your
earlier,
Filipino has to be with you.
he came in by himself. Okay, so then they would have had to file at the DFA and for it to all be accepted and with
Right.
Wala po kong pakialam na meron na po siyang girlfriend and may nangliligaw na rin naman na po sa amin. Wala na po kaming problema.
Oh, there's your answer, chosen one. She says, I don't care if he has a girlfriend. In fact, I have a suitor with who's trying to get me. That's what she said. But she did say it on national TV.
And I'm wondering if all the things they were talking, which it doesn't matter if it's a lady or a man, but I'm just wondering. There was something said that she had girlfriends. So,
Well, her
which nothing wrong with
wording
that.
was suitor,
A
which
suitor
no.
isn't-
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It doesn't mean no, doesn't assign a sex. It just says suitor.
Problema.
Okay.
But then again, 7 months ago na po kami naghiwalay po. Completely, iniwan ko na po siya. And yung ano po, na pagka may bagong girlfriend yung ex ko, lagi ko binawarningan siya na, huy, nagkakalat yung ano mo. Again,
Okay, it says 7 months ago we completely broke up, and every time. No, we knew that, but
Yeah, the online marriages, according to the base of the Philippine law, they do not accept.
they're
Their
not
marriage.
recognized. No.
Correct. So she was only married legally in the U.S. And in order for that to be legally binding, if the Philippines does not accept that document, that could be why he didn't get a 13A. The only thing they could have done was to take their online marriage through Utah. It had to be filed at probably the embassy in Utah or with the one in New York or something, and they had to file it through, and then there had to have been a new document to bring with it or something. So then technically, no. So they're just, whatever divorce he's trying to get is because he wants to move on there possibly.
Yeah.
And it's liable to show up. Let's say he comes back to the Philippines and he wants to marry Ruby, and this is just me saying it because that was his last girlfriend or current, then he would need that because the embassy will do a check. You now have to get something. There for a long time, you didn't have to get a check. You just had to get a document stating you're not married, like notarized here. But now they're back to the thing. Unless they've changed it in the last 3 months since we've checked in on it, then they would still, the embassy would come up with a Utah marriage. So then he would get rejected. So he has to do something on his side. That's a free bird there on air. So she should be showing in other words, she could move on to be married. He's just trying to get that.
Well,
He's trying to.
foreigner ka dito, hindi pa tayo kasal, nagko-concern pa rin ako sa kanya. So, lagi po yun ang inaano ko. But the last time, lumala po. Hindi ko alam kung bakit
You're right,
yung ex ko, dumating kami na nagsisend siya ng picture na nakarating sa akin na hubad yung picture ko.
Kanino po niya
okay. Now the weird thing, it's weird, but it makes sense, but it's still weird. When he arrived here, he showed her naked pictures of her that she didn't send Richard. Richard had naked pictures of her that she didn't send to Richard. What it was is her ex sent pictures to Richard to defame her.
It says here that when somebody's in here saying that, wait, he shows an exit clearance that said he was a resident. But if you're here for so long, they'll call you a resident.
An
We'll
ACR
call you
is a resident.
Yeah, if he kept renewing and then at some point, yes, the ACR card could still show that
Right.
you're, but I don't know how he would get the 13A unless they officially filed something, which would then put him in a different
This is
category.
where most of the time we get flack for because of the ACR card. The R in ACR is resident.
Right.
In that state, according by law, you are a resident, whether you're temporary or not.
After that 90
At that
day
point,
period when they
you can't
issue,
vlog because
oh,
you're
the
a
tax
resident.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Taxes.
yes, he
what's
is a
legal,
resident
what's not.
because again, he already has his ACR card.
Because a 13A would have meant, here's the thing, they wouldn't have recognized that marriage then. There is no in between that. So he couldn't have been a 13A. So, because we discussed that in the previous thing about
Well,
him being
we
a 13A.
suspected it, but again, Momimhay verified it when she started calling him a tourist, and then we're like, oh, okay, that's what we've always suspected, but you know.
Yeah, that we were saying that their marriage couldn't have been legal with it being online. Nobody.
Yeah.
send yung inyong mga photos?
Di ba? Bali po, ang nangyayari po, yung mga ano po na yan, yung mga, may mga concerned citizens, vlogger po kasi kami, maliit na vlogger kami.
Okay.
So may random person from the first
because it's already there.
Okay. Here, I'll hold.
No.
Okay,
I have to. I can put it down here and go.
It's
20.
19 minutes.
All right, never
for
mind.
that.
So no, let's not go through.
Yeah, what I want to do is this is really long. We'll just go to the second half because some of you guys might have already seen this.
Attorney si Ma'am Dawn.
Yeah, I would go.
Yeah, probably when.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just bring where
And the
he's in,
PNP, because
we're-
insofar as the cyber aspect of these screenshots,
yeah,
they
that's where
are
I
the
had
competent
that
authorities
edited, but didn't complete it.
to give us a
That's the actual live. by
definite
the way.
conclusion on
Yeah,
this.
they're
No?
live.
Whether you were hacked, whether you were set up, it's up to them. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we went there, because we are not going to be set up. We are not going to be accused of this.
Okay. So, ma'am, no?
can
Kasi,
I- please-
tinatanggi
That's not us.
niya talaga.
Can I answer that
Yeah,
po?
please.
First, the one that I posted under my real account that you're saying is my fake account. No, it's my account. I put that one on my account that I'm going to sue you guys. It's my account. What are you saying that it's my fake account, whatever? It's my account.
But that picture was posted on the Ruby Armstrong timeline before you posted it on
No.
your timeline. We've got timestamps to show that you posted it on Ruby Armstrong, then you changed the wording on it and posted it on your timeline.
No.
We submitted that into evidence with the NBI and PMP with timestamps.
All my post is public. They can take it.
Okay. Ma'am, pero,
Okay. It was screenshot, so it shows that you created those fake
Exactly.
profiles, Donna.
Okay.
That one
Sir Richard,
screenshot
sorry
shows
to-
that you made those profiles. And here's the ironic part, sir.
All
Attorney,
right.
here's the ironic part. The moment that I messaged this Ruby Armstrong on the fake profile that we were at NBI, I blocked that profile, and within seconds, Donna May messages me ironically on Viber to complain to me. At the moment I blocked her on Messenger, she messages me on Viber. How ironic was that?
Hindi po. Marami po ako dito na umiiyak po ako dun sa nag-post.
Donna is known for creating a lot of fake profiles. With my first Filipino girlfriend, she created a profile by the name of Roseanne to maliciously stalk her and
All right.
harass her. She has Alexi Sue.
Okay,
She
sorry,
has
sorry to
Milenko,
interrupt,
she
Sir
has
Richard. Ha? Sorry to
May
interrupt.
question
But Miss Donna, ito ba hindi gawa-gawa mo?
Opo, lahat po dito.
Okay, kasi kami, we will report this.
Apo.
Okay, we will ask the NBI to investigate.
Apo.
Matatrack
Now, what Heidi said again, I feel sorry for Ruby again for a lot of reasons. Again, she basically got caught in the middle of a crossfire, and again, that's also another reason why you probably shouldn't have a relationship right away after a breakup, because sometimes your current partner will get caught in a crossfire, and it's unfair to them. And then don't be surprised that if they leave because of that.
Yeah, I mean that it's obvious the look on her face, and she's young. He said her entire life is destroyed based on what's been going on with this divorce and everything, and he did bring her into it knowing he was in the middle. Even if Donna is having her own mental issues, all I'm seeing personally is they both got some sort of mental health issues.
Well, now she is an adult, though. She should have known what she's getting into.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, guys and women, ask if you're Filipino or Filipina are you single? Are you married? Are you divorced? Everything. Even though it's obvious that, are you single? Yes. Guess what? That doesn't mean that they don't have somebody or something or whatever. Because remember, people tend to lie and skirt things around. Well, technically, I am single, even though I do have somebody. That kind of deal. So, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, always ask. If they're, the thing is, the most common answer you'll hear is I'm separated. Now, hate to break it to you guys and girls, separated means you're still married. It just means you're not together,
Yeah. So
but
that's
you're
wh-
still married.
And that's what they were talking about on the show. Is that Just go
Yeah,
through the
no, yeah.
comments were
No, I know. Richard seems like a normal, upstanding guy. This leads me to one, he should have no trouble finding another girl. I don't think he does. I don't think he has trouble doing that. Again, he already has Ruby in that interview. And that was a while back. Two, he shouldn't care what she says. Well,
that's
there,
what he said.
there are
but he
many
said-
jealous and crazy women.
Yeah, he's saying at this point he feels he needed to. That's where it was getting to the point where, and now it's this new video, and I haven't even been through the entire thing, but yeah, this, if it wasn't for this other update of him releasing saying he's back in the US, and then he said a bunch of stuff, and with the divorce bills on hold and all that, and it kind of brings all of it in a circle, then we probably wouldn't have, but even if I go through and find a bunch of stuff she said, we're just not going to continue the,
Right.
you know.
Ted says because women can be vindictive. Correct. Charlie Nelson says, I told my wife that they are spending way too much money. They sold their first house because her Richard said that Donna was freaking out because of the debt. Then they go on wild spending spree.
Interesting.
But they've that's been voiced out on their channel a lot by their commenters. Thaddeus says these women will go on kamikaze on Facebook and social media. Beware.
Yeah.
Mr. Glock says, well, he's in the United States and we have freedom of speech, so he's allowed to talk about it more openly unless his lawyer tells him otherwise.
Yes. I mean, you still have some here, but you're just on. She could, if she could just call the cops and say, hey, he's over there and this and that, and you're liable to lose in that manner. So you don't have as much freedom here. Yes, I will agree. It's not the place to start a fire.
Dang, Chosen One. Chosen One, straight as ever. Chosen One says, expats doing too much. Getting abducted, run out of the country, all over Filipinos. There you go.
Still telling you that's going to be one hell of a story.
Yeah, Cindy G says, you're right, George. People just think that way, which isn't right. She's talking about if somebody keeps quiet, then they admit it.
I just like we said over and over and over again about Eastman, that we hope it's not his body, and we said that. I'm hoping that they find him alive. We said that. We're hoping that he is, and that it's just really way out there, I keep thinking about that he's just going to show up on the shore and stuff. It's like, dang, we were wrong again, but it's like, we're happy that we were wrong, It's kind of...
Yeah. He had to speak some things, and he does have the right. Correct. He does have the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ted Dengen says, I'm not putting out my side of the story of a relationship online at any cost. I know better. I don't care what she says. There you go.
Yeah, they're really both doing it. So that's why I'm massively confused now, because they're dumping every single thing, which really leads me that they're still in love. And I think if they could right the wrongs and wrongs the rights and all of that, I think they'd be back together. I really highly believe that, how like there's a death in the family of a baby and the couple never gets over it, but they were madly in love. I really believe things put wedges in the relationships, and there's just, them 2, 3, 4 things that happen, or one big thing that pushes people apart, and they really love and care for each other. That is the very sad part. And they had it was still stress of the YouTube channel, it was still the stress of building, then they started looking at each other's imperfections. There was just so many different things, and nobody clean of nothing. Like, she said that he had mental health issues and addictions and went through a bunch of stuff, and then he's saying things about her, and it's like, I bet the way they both sound to me, they still love each other, and I think if they had a chance, they're probably saying, damn, no, but it seems like love to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chosen One says, our boy's in the U.S. living with his sister. Shake my head.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
He is. He's living at his sister's house. He said that.
Now, guys, ever listen to a song and you're hearing the wrong thing? Now, this is sung to the tune of Dancing Queen. Sarah Tyson says, George is a dancing queen, only 70s. Yeah, that's the misheard
Dancing
lyrics. That's
queen.
what that is.
Yeah,
Only 7 teeth. Yeah.
Victor further down says, "How do you ask a Filipina for dowry amount?" Well, that's not going to be a Filipina. Dowry is usually Islamic,
Yeah, it's Islamic to the dad.
and he said the agreement for Eastman was 50,000, and he says they usually don't ask that in the United States. I'm like, yeah, usually they don't, unless they're Muslim also, but or unless it's like long time ago when it was Native American Indians, and he says, I'll take 4 horses, 2 cows, and 4 bushels of corn for her, and you better add another bushel of corn for her.
Yeah, for those who are not familiar with the culture or what's that? What's the word for it? Tradition is normally when a girl, keyword girl, turns of age, the dad usually puts up a flag up at their house to let them know, hey, I have a daughter that's ready. Come and get her.
Serious?
Yes.
From who? Where are you getting this at? Islamic or Muslim or Filipino?
No, not here. This is Middle Eastern stuff. Yes.
Oh, it's
And
new to
then
me.
they would the guys would come over and negotiate. Okay, well, what do you have? I have.
No, I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
I didn't know anything about the
that's the
flag. I know
dowry
there's
thing. Yeah, that's a
a
dowry thing.
negotiation. It just actually depends. But his was 50,000.
Yeah.
Here's something else that I've only voiced to you so far, and one other person, being we're in the Eastman thing again. A lot of strange other facts are coming up, and one is clearly on her account. The photos were 14 months ago. They've been married. I don't know why. The newspaper's saying he's only been there for 5 months, and their relationship is about 5 months old. But her account shows photos in 2023 of their wedding. So 2023, there was wedding photos. Also, there was the dowry thing and when they got married, and even their video showed that they're 8 months old, so they've been together a little longer than actually has been said. But there's definitely some crimes of passion going on there, and he went on about the dowry, which is about 1,000 US. It's not even 1,000 at that price. The peso is up to 58 point something. It's the highest it's been in a. So technically, it's probably about 900 US dollars, and that was for the wedding. I don't know if that included the dowry. He just said for the wedding and everything. So I'm imagining it did. So, but
Yeah. Now, on the dowry, a lot of Westerners don't understand this concept, but it does make sense because think about it this way: if a guy who's going to take care of your daughter can't afford to give you a dowry, then he can't afford to take care of your daughter. So the more
I
dowry he has, the more he's capable of taking care of your daughter. Now that's the logic. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I believe in it. I'm not. I don't. I'm not from that culture, so I'm just telling you how it works. Jose says, hit the gym, find a hobby. There you go.
right. There was when we were talking about you going to the dance club. He said dancing is touching. Yeah, and some people it would be a jealousy thing. And yes, I was a ballerina. You got me, White Samurai.
Yeah. Now,
Still am.
the most physical dancing is fandango. That's when you actually are connected to the hip, literally, where you grab your partner, and it's the what do you call that? Dirty dancing is partially.
And I remember we
fandango.
joked about that. I said that not my man, not if you were up in a club grinding on each other. And what was your answer when I said that when we first met? You said it's still dancing, and no, it's not. And I was like, no, you ain't gonna be up in no club grinding with no girl under my watch if you both don't want to end up lechon.
George on the spit.
And
Anyway,
then I would have spit on you.
Chosen one says, I've been in the Philippines a
It's
long
still
time. I know
dancing,
how
you
many
say?
stories like Armstrong. Just
George
the
is-
flavor of the week, but this story is very common.
Yeah, George likes to push his luck on a daily basis. He's
What?
pushing the envelope, licking it, wrapping a ribbon around it, and dragging it behind you. You just a trip. Sometimes I wonder about you. It's weird how you casually start shit, but you won't start shit when you need to start shit. It's like punch him in the eye, George. And, you know, I was like, what? You start crap all the time. Why are you gonna start with me, but nobody else? That's the same point.
Anyway,
Grinding isn't a problem. Yes, it is.
Anyway,
Go ahead. Is grinding.
okay, that's unconventional dancing, and I say unconventional because really that's kind of more.
I did. I said girls will get up against you and start the grinding and dancing and all that, and their intention is not what you think it is. And I said that it's not okay, and you said it was still dancing. Because you
Well,
like to see me squirm.
honestly, the best time I have dancing are the better the girl is at dancing, the more fun I have.
See how he answers that? Sure, George.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Anybody who dances will know exactly what I'm talking about. Because there's nothing worse than you're dancing with somebody who can't dance and you're like stepping on their toes, not because you can't dance, it's because they can't dance. And there's just no synergy. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Victoria
You
says
didn't need any synergy.
I got a lot of synergy.
Yeah, the synergy was waiting at home.
Good morning, Heidi, George, and everyone.
Talk about not saying anything and not doing anything. The fact you didn't say that that's where you were meant you were guilty of something. And the
What?
fact that I had to find out from her is really bad.
Going out to drink and dance is not cheating.
No, it's not. But when you work all day and don't spend any time, and then you've done your week's work and you ain't spend no time with me, and then you took your butt there, that's something that Donna should be complaining and bitching about. You literally would do all of that and then have no time for your own life, and then you would go do that. Yes, I get it. You're your own free man. Cats. But yeah, that's a little different when we first met. Now I don't give a rat's tail. I'll give you the bar fine money. Just get out of my face. But then it meant a lot. And you messed up back then, and you've been paying for it ever since. Donna, that.
Thaddeus says the post
Dun,
typhoon. Well,
dun, dun, dun,
post
Donna.
typhoon prayers for people in the Philippines. Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
most
Yes.
definitely.
A lot of them got affected. Correct.
Yeah, during the last
Um,
live stream, there's been quite a few, and I don't think the numbers are over. There's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Victoria says hi. Black Grandpa says she comes from humble beginnings and doesn't want to go back to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Chosen One says exactly, Grandpa. That was her one shot. Streak says just got up. Does Armstrong make these videos because he hates her? Views or both?
I don't think anymore for him it's the views. I know it seems to be her income because he hasn't released very many videos and he went under the radar for, God, what's it been, 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah.
If he needed it
Well,
for the
it's been-
money, he
it's been
would have
longer
been.
than
I'm
that,
sure, like somebody said, he probably went back to construction or whatever job he's doing. He can make his money there. For her, it is her living. That's why I think she continued to cover it. Not only does she care for him and hates him at the same time, but it is definitely an income coming in for her. Yeah.
Yeah, JPJ. That looks like a Deadpool Hello Kitty.
It
I
is.
believe everything he says. What he says makes sense and is reasonable, and I clearly see the drama she creates. Calling him a narcissist, she means she has controlling issues. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah. Sarah Tyson says, does he know what a narcissist does? Chosen One
Actually, yeah,
says,
he went through the description.
I believe Richard 100%. Filipinos are notorious for being irrational, no reasoning at all.
I think it's women in general. I don't. That's why I always keep repeating. It's just not American women. It's women everywhere. So just like problems, whether it's the kidnapping situation, things do not change when you arrive here in the Philippines. You have some added issues and things you're not used to and an adjustment, but the crap still all happens here. Your depression follows. There are depressing people here. There's good people, bad people here. I think you're just moving to everything is. People think there's some sort of miracle change 100% when they get here. They're just dealing with different infrastructure and they're in a third world country, and then you're adjusting to everything. And the women definitely still have their issues here. So
Right. White Samurai says you can take the girl out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the girl. 20 minutes says 91 watching. Make sure thumbs up. Yeah. If you want. Victoria says seen part of a video this morning. Was it a live? There's no live button. The reason I ask is to receive a call during the video. No, it wasn't. Again, it's heavily edited. It's
And it wasn't a live that I can see.
no.
So there's something, yeah, I think she was recording, just really paused it and then edited, but it's 2 hours long. So
Yeah. Now this is thinking out of the box. Chosen One says Richard needs to regroup and go to Thailand. So simple.
yeah, and we put the video link to both of them for both their channels.
Second one says I had one Filipino ex-girlfriend who went cray cray. She sent emails even to my daughters, new girlfriend, and everyone until I ended up calling UAE police and filed a claim and proving she was cray cray.
Dog of yours.
JPJ says I think he should do it transparently and it just debunks her crazy lies. Tony Mang says, gotta love crocodile tears. Oh dang, JPJ says, oh come on, give me a break. That doesn't work in the West anymore. What a hit show.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Nelson says second win. Richard can't shut up. He likes running his mouth. Tony Mang says it's like watching a train wreck.
Really on both sides. Even let's say that he's 100% right in telling the truth, the way that's being handled on that side, and let's say she is. Let's say there's somewhere in between. It's I don't know. She wanted him and him only to see that video, but it all came out and now she's using it for numbers. What I'm saying is, let's say she really is upset and she's saying all this. I don't know. I get it. Believe me, I get it. There's been times that me and George have had fights, and I'm like, that's it. I'm just going to, I'm just going to tell everybody, that this was happening, and I'm like, yeah, we're not putting all that business out there. It's just, it is a spur of the moment upset situation over nothing. I mean, it's like things like the dancing thing or the Japanese woman that called in the middle of the night and said, hey, come get this baby situation. That's the crap I'm talking about. Someone the other day is like, and the comments are like, yeah, why don't you spill all your tea? And it's like, well, because there are some things, regardless, you all don't put your stuff out there, and most aren't doing YouTube channel, and even, those YouTube channels are not putting nobody reveals every part of their life. Could be a bunch of toe suckers out there and people toe sucking and eating toads at the same time. They don't tell the world.
Well, that's pretty good actually. What you do is you get a toad and you lick the backside,
Yeah.
and then once wait 5 minutes or so, and then you go suck a toe. The greener the toe is, the better. Anyway, Thaddeus says I agree, but bad vibes, both sides, peace in the teepee. Right. He says, she says, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. Bespoke says she's full of it. Like, who believes his fake tears? He actually showed facts. He showed screenshot proving she lied about threesome and PNP report on fake accounts. That's a little brutal there, huh? She should have been an actress on Popcorn site. Second wins. Now this is fair. We all have history. I did a lot of crap when I was younger. Doesn't mean I do it now. Tony Manning says her tears are like diarrhea.
Oh boy.
Now this is
You mean smelt and not seen?
this is
And
somewhat true. JPJ says she should be happy he's gone if he's such an a-hole. I mean, that makes sense to me. Chosen One says she's not happy at all. He got away. She tried to keep him in the country. Second one says maybe Richard has a long schlong. And rumors out there. Why did you go there? But anyway.
George does, but I'll let you know right now, I've thrown him outside 3 times this week. That doesn't matter. He could be full of money and all the above, and I'm still going to toss his butt out. That's what you guys actually think. I don't give a crap. Don't care about the immigration. Don't care about that or his schlong. Out the door you go, schlong Wong. Out the door.
Me and my 3 legs. Zanita says
All 3 legs carry his butt out of
the
here.
guy from the show told him he should have left her at home. Well, see, that's the thing. Apparently, the reason why she's there is because she was accused of doing something wrong to her. That's why. Chosen One says Richard, another expat in the Philippines, trying to do business. Expats do too much. Unfair. Woody Light says everybody's guilty, even me. There you go. Brent Sproul says I just hope the best for both of them. Move on. Oh dang. Chosen One says the only people that make money in the Philippines is the Chinese and their pogo. You expats need to stop the nonsense.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you don't go to the Philippines to work. You go to
That's
the
probably where
Philippines
Eastman is now.
to.
He's probably working at a pogo chained to a desk.
Oh dang.
That's what they said.
They're actually honest. To be honest with you, that's a very good possibility.
It was the family that gave the story. They could have, I hate to say it, one of them poor puppies on the beach might have got it. Who knows? There's been so many speculations out there. I mean, that's just horrible to even think
Woody
about.
Light, she is such a crybaby. Mr. Glock says she's the one who told him to sell the first house. Now, keep in mind that there's a lot of here. This is where the waters get kind of muddy, because to my understanding, again, not my words, other people's words, they sold the first house to pay off the debts they incurred from building the house. So it's kind of like one of those, what do you call that? Hole in the bucket deal, you know? So it's a never ending cycle. They have to build a house to pay for the other house. But now that they built this house, they have to build another house to pay. It's, to my understanding, that's what happened unintentionally. 20 Minutes says she claims she was a provider. How so? If so, how come she can't handle the debts deal she made?
Start late.
Bespoke says 5 months. He stated that he said she had a live-in boyfriend at the time.
Oh, at the time of Rafi and all that. Yeah, they had been. At the time, 5 months ago, he said they had already been living apart. There's a lot. It's been ongoing. That's why I'm surprised officially. I think it's been over a year since all this started, and they're still. And he's only simply married there, so I don't get all the. I don't see the point of what he's trying to prove on that side. I get his name's on the line, but I have a theory that it's most of the people that do, the ones that care won't care about it. We've gone through our own issues here. We know who's like loyal and not. My point is a lot of that's just to clear things through Facebook and YouTube to tell everybody his. I mean, if he just stops YouTube and stops looking, then it's all over. Kind of hard to explain. Actually, it's not hard to explain. It is what it is. It just seems like they want to keep it going for each other because he could just pull the plug and just walk away. The same with her. But I think she needs the money. I know she supposedly got money for the selling of the house, and there was something up and coming, possibly, from the divorce and all that. And she's definitely getting paid from the channel. I don't know how well. If most of it's Filipino, it won't be as much of a paycheck for her, but she still got numbers coming in. She releases almost daily videos, I think. So it's kind of important for her with it being hard to get job, but she initially was in some sort of real estate. She was showing land. So she does have some opportunities. She seems to be very intelligent. But for him, I just don't know why. Isn't usually the man that's the one that wises up without the emotions. It just finally pulls away. Don't women usually?
Well, no, varies. I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody's the same. So, Vets Vlog says love the channel. Just answering your question from yesterday. I don't get on TikTok. But I'm following on both personal and Vet Vlog profiles. Keep up the great work. Don't forget to like. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We really do.
Alpha Investing says they got married online with U.S. jurisdiction. Their marriage is not recognized in the Philippines.
No, it's not. No. I know some people claim that they're legally married based on it. There were a lot of guys that did it, and there have been some somehow that have obtained 13As. I don't know if they went through an agency that they just overpaid and they pushed it through. I don't know, but we do know of people that have. That's why I said in the beginning we know of people that. But remember, every city and every barangay and all that makes a difference on papers being filed. So, but no, it's not recognized by the.
Second one says, hot dog? Mine's more like a Vienna sausage. That's why I got a tiny Asian girl. There you go.
Oh snap!
Mr. Glock says, I heard she has a girlfriend. Excelsior says, I just finished 2 hours of Donna's vlog. I'm waiting for Richard's side, but Donna is convincing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and we only got through. We got that. We already told you guys like 2 lives ago. We've been covering Eastman. Hey, we're gonna get to the Donna stuff, you know, or him putting out new stuff, and then bam, this morning, that's what drug us on further. I'm like, dang it! I was like, I said I haven't even had time to got through. I said just grab those first 6 minutes and let's get to this. And we didn't, you know.
Yeah, Robert Tatum says she went on Rafi Tufo. It was a lot of stuff we don't know. Also, we didn't know this. There was online marriage. It's not recorded. Now, I get that, but what I don't understand is, if so, again, it's not my words at this point. It's them. They keep, both parties keep bringing up the divorce for some strange reason. I mean, I get that it
And
doesn't
it's not even
count
finished yet. So it's
here.
been,
So, but they both keep bringing it up. So it's like, huh? You know, this is one of those things that make you go, huh?
Yeah, because if it's not really legal here, then she shouldn't have to worry about
Correct.
it. But maybe she just wants it to be over on all sides. But no. But
Right. It's just one of those huh moments. Yes.
let's see. Is it true you can have your Philippine marriage annulled and register through the courts and notarize and stating both parties allow you to? They do have where you can, but right now, any American that's been paying to have their Filipinas marriage annulled, not only is it cost them an arm and a leg, but somebody said 10,000, 15,000 US or more. I've heard 20,000, 30,000, depends on what attorney you pay, the reasons it's pushed through the courts. It rarely happens. When I hear some guy say my Filipinas married, we're trying to get it annulled, it's rough. It takes a lot of money and it has to be specific reasons. You can, but most don't meet the criteria.
Second win says, what's wrong with toe sucking?
You can do Georgia.
Actually,
Hey,
to some
Cora,
people,
how
that
are
is
you?
very central. Toes are very sensitive, especially in between the toes. But that's where the toe jam is usually. But anyway,
You nasty. I know exactly what spots you hit, and you nasty.
yeah, I mean, you
You
hit
just
the toe
nasty.
jam, you hit the ick cheese. You know what I'm saying? You know, just right around the rim. What you get? Go. Anyway,
I'm just telling you, George is a freak. And he's also very controlling, and he beats me when you guys aren't around. That's the truth. Why you guys think I scream in between? You guys think it's the opposite. Well,
oh
crap.
my gosh.
I know you guys can envision all that crap. He's nasty. It's true. You nasty.
Oh my gosh.
Told you that you're a freak, and that's why you're gonna be sleeping again outside with the dog.
With my cat that keeps escaping.
By the way, how did I get her back in? Like midnight, she was on the windowsill, and you ain't getting George to move after a certain time. Can't get him up in the morning, and sometimes when I talk to Sarah and talk to different family members, he just out like a light. Same thing. Well, you can't do nothing with George. That cat sat out there, and he's like, "I'll just let her in the morning. Let her in the morning." She sat on that windowsill, and she finally just sat up there, and I had to pick her up by the nape of her neck and bring her inside, but she wouldn't even come off the seal. Like she was just going to sit up there and stare at people. I said, she keeps getting out, she's going to stay out.
Now, in real life, to be fair, in real life, what happens is when Heidi's talking to me, You know that little guy in your head? I have a little guy in my head that's like in front of the computer desk controlling my body.
It's true.
He's like, oh crap, she's talking again. Yeah.
He does that anyways.
So my body in real life goes like this, and then my eyes glaze over, and I go.
That is true, but men do
Oh,
that
what?
anyways.
Yes, yes.
And when I ask you to find something, you can't find it to save your life. And I know you see it. You say you don't see it. There's been stuff like right in front of your face.
No, see,
I'm
when that happens, when a guy says, I can't find it,
You
the
know-
little guy in the guy's head says, have her look for it and said, oh, yeah,
You know what's going to happen?
I can't
I'm
find
gonna
it.
replace the word nanu with fu.
Actually,
And you're going to know that's what I'm telling you. Nanu.
nanu nanu in Filipino means what?
Yeah, it's going to mean fuc. 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 Nano, George. The same with that trash can thing. You're going to get the answer to that dumping in the trash situation, but nano to you, mother.
David C says, thinking that it could be a stunt is silly talk. No other way to
Bite
describe
me.
it. It's funny how minds are prone to conspiracy theories work.
Hey.
Hey, Porinoy. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Magandang umaga. Yeah, second one. Don't forget the belly
I
button
think
link.
David
Yes.
Z, he was in on the stuff about the boy and how minds are prone to conspiracy theories. Yeah, possibly, but we shall see. We shall see, and it's okay. There's something. If the boy just shows up, as I said, that's something really out there. And what was the chances that wasn't his body? That's what's really even odder for me at this moment.
What's this one?
Lots of. We're back to what?
It can't be annulment. I mean, is that annulment, vets? I mean, 30,000 US would have been awesome. Mine was 250,000. Texas is brutal.
Maybe he meant divorce. Maybe he had to pay up that much in his divorce. Yeah, splitting money, assets might have been, yes.
Yeah, could be.
But he's probably just talking about going through, not for just filing. It's not. That's without assets. So let's say there was assets involved, or
Okay, now thank you, Excel, because you did kind of verify what I could have sworn. Yes, only rich people can afford annulments, which usually require psychiatrists to approve it. I kind of thought so too, that you need to prove that something's seriously wrong.
you would. Because there was all that theory about that other vlogging couple. Same thing. They were saying they would have to prove the mental part of it, and the other person said they were mentally abused. And
Yeah, there's a list.
money, and there is a list. Then you would have to prove those facts, unless you are.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Donut time. Move on. Goodbye. Bye. See you guys later. Goodbye.
What?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun,
second one
dun,
says,
dun,
vet, you had
dun,
wrong
dun, dun,
lawyers.
Bye, guys. Dun, 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 dun. Bye. Dun, 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 dun.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, you slept until 8:45. So at 8:45, you talking about, here I am for the live, and I'm like, dude, you should have got up earlier. And I'm like, I'm trying to get this. Do you mind processing that and this and that? And so, I got a lot of
I have to
talking
get my
there.
beauty rest so that way I can go and dance tonight.
How much sleeping you been doing?
Yeah, I need to go out and dance.
You go out and dance tonight. See what happens.
Oh, look, it's Baby May and Tada.
That's my spirit animal. I don't know why you sucking on Baby May. You sucking on old dog like you sucking on.
that.
You sucking on Tada too.
Don't say that.
It's
That's
funny.
kinda messed
The
up.
cup came in and he says, oh, look, you got me the Filipina P. And I said, you bum. I said, that's not the P. I said, that's my girl. And he did. He said, he goes, you called her the P twice. I'm like, please don't insult my girl.
It's Baby May and Tada.
Baby man, Tada. And Baby
Ta-da.
May is way smaller than. So, there.
Well, I don't know if she is.
I'm waiting for my Panda Express. All right, guys. Heidi's correct. It's because of the assets, the lawyer together. Yeah, with 17,000.
Yeah, Cindy G says, gotta go, bye.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were already a half hour late, guys. We do appreciate you guys being here. Like, subscribe, share.
Before I know, he says,
Get
Baby
lost.
May's your girl.
I like Baby May. I really do. I've always said it. As a
Good
matter of fact,
night.
when we listed
Good night, Vets
vloggers, this was probably 2 years ago. People were like, why'd you add Baby May?
Yeah.
I like her. So it's
Night,
just,
Ted. Thank you so
she's
much
just
for
got
being
a lot of
here.
energy. So
Good night, Victoria. Good night, Sarah Tyson. Thank you so much. Good night.
I do
Stay warm.
have
Oh,
real
there's second
quick. I
guest.
plan to put more information out about the company that does our local
By
merch.
Excellium. Oh, sorry. Exelixium. Exelixium. Oh, delivery.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll get you the name of the company real quick. But they do really good work. I believe they pronounce it ASR, Digital Printing Services. They're really fairly expensive. I think it's AESIR. They're through Lazada. They're a digital printing company. They do all kinds of different cups, canvas bags. They do the type of shirts George has on, and does printing. So, and we plan to put it up the next time that we have a shirt and some business cards coming and everything. And we know there's some local shops, but they're also, like a mom and pop. The other one is. That might be my Ricky. That's probably my Ricky mug. So I ordered a Ricky mug, so I had one with Ricky. But all right, guys, we appreciate you guys and take care, guys. God bless everybody. Stay safe. Have a good day.